Hello, everybody. Welcome. Rosa Psych Investigator. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Rosa Psych Investigator. So today, guys, I am trying a new microphone. I hear a lot of you, and I try to adapt. This time, I have this little microphone like this. I've changed some. Oh, I've changed something, which is this. There's some settings on Zoom. I had picked the automatic setting, so I removed that. I just made it a little bit louder because I know a lot of you have said that you can't quite hear me. So it may be that it's Zoom, right? Because what happens is the sound comes from the microphone and it's processed through Zoom. So let's see if this improves. Okay. And I'm in my office now. There's a little bit of noise. I don't think you can hear it, but I'm interested to hear from you if you can hear well or not, or what's going on. I realized, I don't know if I'm on the spectrum or whatever, but I tend to have these like noise canceling type for the chunky ones, right? But I think that's not really good when I'm recording the video because I don't have an idea what the volume of my voice is like. So let's see. I actually want to make sure that yes, it's in voice isolation mode. So we're ready to go. So let's do the production. I'd like to ask for protection, a beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head. As I breathe in, I fill my lungs. As I breathe out, I create a circle. I create a circle. I step into it. I step into it. I feel connected. I step into it. I feel protected. I'd like to ask that information come only from the highest sources that I create the good and only the good in service. Okay, so today is Wednesday, July 9th. And, it's been, being honest, it's been really kind of rough lately. I think it's, I think it's everything that's happening really in the world, seeing all of this. It has been really hard, I think, to process. It feels really, really tough. And when you see everything that's happening, with ICE and all that, and the extremism, right? The attacks on foreigners, on Americans, and everybody who does not agree with this agenda, and even those who do, right? It seems so gratuitous. And it's honestly sometimes hard to comprehend, right? I mean, of course, I was listening to Linda G because sometimes I told you guys I rarely listen to other people, but sometimes, especially times like this, I'm like, oh, let me see what other people see, what they're talking about, what they're saying, because sometimes it's like, what the hell is going on? Are we near the end of times or whatever that is, right? I don't think so, but it seems unprecedented, right? So here we are. All right. So let's see. Let's see what's going on. So so now today I just feel like I have these questions. Where are we in the big scheme of things? Okay. And I almost want to know, I almost want to go to the time when this is resolved and what does it look like? Okay. When um so show me what it's like, when is this resolved, when, of course, is a very hard question, but how? So okay, so let's start. I know it's a lot, and I really don't think I'm going to go look into specific news today, just because of that reason, right? Because of the intensity of it. But let's see. Okay, let's see. One sec. So really going straight to the question, which is, what the hell is going on? Okay, what the hell is going on? Because it feels like, right, it's very intense. I mean, again, uh, seeing everything, and some of your messages, some of your questions, some of your communities are being targeted by us. And how is this? How can we, like? How could this end? Right? It seems too much. Like, too much. No, it's reality, right? And this is something they have designed, right? But what is going on, and how close are we to what comes next? Okay, so from the from the spiritual side, what is going on? Now I see the image of Trump with the dragon mouth, like fire coming from his mouth, forked tongue, and all these evil dreams are being fulfilled now, right? Targeting of immigrants, poor people, targeting, right? It's, I feel like they want to almost criminalize people who are not as well off as they are. And they want to make life harder for saying they want to make life harder for us so that they are better off in their minds. They want to have supremacy over others. They want systems where the population has no means of recourse at all, where not only is it not a democracy, but the people that are below are like servants. And like they want us, it's almost like a slave-like system where the people on top have everything and everybody at the bottom has nothing at all. And that's what they want. That's what they think all of these economic measures are going to bring. So are you suggesting that they want, yes, depression? Okay. All right. Yes. Depression. And that's right. They want to force they want to crash the economic system. So they're going to have the economic system they want. So this is their plan. Okay. So is this going to happen all the way? So let's see here. So will they be able to achieve their goals? How will this be stopped? So yes, I do see that they have. I see these blueprints for buildings like these camps. You know how they approved all this money for ICE. I think they want to build these camps. They're building some camps, but I see that it doesn't go that far. That this government ends up falling apart because it's a constant confrontation against the population because they want, right. It's not like it's secret where they're going for, where they're going towards. So it's saying that that's right. Essentially, it's a this is a term that Karina has used a lot, the foreign bill of sale, right? They're using this as a means to kind of crash the country and then have foreign interests take over and oppress, like have this like a autocratic government. And if you think about it, as crazy as it sounds, he likes, trash. He loves the guy from North Korea. North Korea people are oppressed. It's a really, really poor country. But that's kind of what they want. They want this like population that is docile and afraid. So, and that's their evil. That's like, so, all right, it's saying they're building their, and they are trying to recruit more and more people. And I see that interesting that the Democratic states, I think California has started to do that. I read somewhere that the LAPD is now asking for bad badges from those ISIS. I'm sorry, ISIS. It was a Freudian slip for the ICE people, right? This is how bad they are. You think of them as like terrorists, right? So, um, so they'll say, all right, okay, so how would this be stopped? Okay, so, all right. So I was looking at it. I stopped because of there's some sort of technical issue I wanted to fix, but I think it's okay. So what I got is that I really like I saw this image of them sending it. There's something to do with the military. They're going to try to militarize the situation more and more until I see these slides coming, old fashioned slides with a projector. So these lies are projected about the truth, where his money comes from, who he really is. We already know that. But right, because it's saying that what they really want is to take over the US and then take over the world from there. They're not succeeding, as crazy as it sounds from their perspective, they're not succeeding in the way they want to. They are at the very beginning. So they have to sort of militarize things more, but it has to be a lot more. And the US has never really had like a dictatorship. But like I said before, many times, so I grew up in Brazil, and in Brazil, there was a military dictatorship. And I would think that almost all the dictatorships need to have the support of the military, because that's what ends up enforcing, right, the authoritarianism. And I think here I know that there's people that the Pentagon is doing things for Trump and such, but when you think about it, guys, in all the countries that have dictatorships, like for example Egypt and other countries, Russia, whatever, the military is completely at the service of the executive branch, like, right, completely. It goes against the citizens and such. So really, I don't see it happening here. And that's, again, broadly speaking, that's why I think this whole thing is going to collapse, because you have this person who is selling parts of the country, selling off the country and dismantling everything if he can, right? And what he's doing here is to try to really to do the situation that is like really, really hard for us, right? So this is that. And that's what we're seeing. That's right. And it's saying that this, as unpleasant as it is, as horrible as it is, we are seeing these plans that have been put in place for, like, these people in the far right, the cults and the Project 2025s of the world that they have, they're not new. It's something they have thought about for a long time. So this is their chance to put this into practice, and they're doing this. But again, it's saying that in a way we have to see it so that it doesn't become like, oh, one day let the right have power, let them. So we see what it's like, and it almost immediately collapses. Okay. So, all right. So this is what I got for this. So I was a little distracted over here because I changed my wind machine to make sure that there was somebody talking, so I wanted to cover it up. But anyway, so I was just looking at, somebody sent me a video about those, there's so many conspiracy theories about those rains. And I have to remind people all the time, this is something the right is putting out to make people think that it's not related to climate change when it obviously is. Not only that, they want to find as somebody to blame because the government of Texas didn't want to spend money on, like, Trump and Elon Musk cut a lot of weather services, and there was also right. You understand what happened there, and climate change. And like I said, I grew up in the tropics, and like in the tropics, sometimes like I don't know where there's this crazy rain and there's flood. It's so fast. I remember one time I went to the supermarket, and when I came back, it was like this intense, and it was like water was like up to above almost the top of my thighs, like so quick. So it's like boom, boom. I don't know. So that's what happened. That happens a lot. So that's what we're starting to see here too. So okay, I know I should have changed the headliner here, but this is it. All right. Okay. So let's go to the next topic. So guys, okay. So I wrote down these questions. I know it's a lot of them, and it's very broad, but when I do these types of visions, I like to have specificity, right? So let's start from there. Like what? So let's go. I want to go to the time when this is, and it's not going to tell me necessarily a time calendar, but I want to know, right? So we kind of like look forward and then walk backwards. So it's an interesting exercise. So it doesn't make sense. Instead of going to, sometimes I like to go to a date. So let's say December or whatever date, but in this case, let's see the time when this is resolved and this and let's actually specify about ice. And okay, so see here. Let's go to a time when this is resolved. And okay, and these ice rates are no longer happening. What do I see? Okay, you describe what I see. In other words, what am I seeing? Okay, so let's go to a time when all this terrible situation that we're witnessing now is resolved. There are no more ice raids. The ice raids are no longer happening. So show me a time. Okay, show me a time. This has ended. Okay, so show me, and I'm watching, let's see, I'm watching the news. Okay. Okay, so show me the weather. Okay. Okay. Wow, okay. Okay, so why are this ice? What happened? Wow, interesting. Okay, let's see. Okay. So what's interesting, guys, is that it's saying this is like actually I'm so glad I'm doing this. I really because my energy now has changed already. So wow. So the first thing I see is actually Kamala Harris being interviewed on it's like MSNBC, and she's not on the TV show, particular show, but she's being interviewed. And she's like, wow, I can't believe here we are. And the American people have welcomed me. They understood what happened. This is a democracy, and this is a country that still is in its infancy, and we have to go through those types of things. And then I see that there's these like arrests, and they're arresting the people that were working for ICE, because it will turn out that some of them are criminals. Like some of those were, these right-wing militia types, they are being hired to be sort of like, in that country in the Second World War, right? That so kind of like a private army in the style of the bad guy from the Second World War. So it's saying that they will be charged for pretending to be. There's something like it's something. This whole thing is illegal. They're saying, and they have violated the laws, and they have committed crimes against people. They have abused people, right? And they will be prosecuted. And I see that's what Kamala is working on as soon as she gets in. That we can't have mercy to these people. Who cannot let them continue. Okay, so that's interesting. So that's what I saw now. So this is what I saw now. What is happening in the White House? It's like, wow, nice. It's lovely to be back, she's saying. And it's interesting. I see her wearing like an eggplant color suit. For some reason, is this significant in some way? Is there a holiday? Is there why this color? That's just the wine color that I'm seeing. So okay. So why okay, so how did this person, because I'm reading here the question, how did this person get to the White House? Hmm? How did this person get to the White House? Wow. Wow. Interesting. Interesting information. Interesting information. So, okay, I do see it's a really bizarre scene. Like I see trash kind of collapsing and like trying to run. Like, remember there was a movie, like a 70s movie, I think it's called Animal House, but they're really old now. That's kind of like, but there was John Belushi was in that movie, right? But it's actually not, it's just the kind of like, but evil, like the Animal House, but evil. And they're in their like the hamburgers, they're like, that's the type of trash and his people. So they're truth about they're revealed the slides I talked about earlier, and they have to leave because they're collapsing the government on purpose, and they are stopped. Okay. And then there's a process, there's a few weeks of like some sort of transition. And I see that she's reinstalled because it shows that it does somehow it does come out this thing of the election. I understand that a lot of people are like, wait, but how is it possible? How does that's what I see. Okay. So okay, so where are Trump here? Because I thought to ask the question of their kids because that would give us an idea. Like, okay, so maybe they are they where are they? Did they escape? I always saw Eric leaving for some reason. But let's see. So where are Trump, Eric, and Don Jr.? Okay, so okay. Yeah, that was okay. Where is that box? Interesting. Okay, so what's interesting is that I know people have said Trump is I don't see him escaping because of his age and the fact that he will be a fugitive if he does. This is assuming that the government is going to collapse, right? But I feel like it's he tries. I see him in an airplane trying to let's go, and he's something doesn't work. The pilot gets an order, no, he can't take off, so he never ends up leaving because he has to stay. He has to stay until account for it happens. And then I see again he's taken to a military facility, like I've said before, and he's and he right trust. And then Eric, let's see, Eric I see he may have traveled. Don Jr., he has 5 kids with Vanessa. So he stays. And I think he may face justice, I think. And now what's interesting is when I look at Elon Musk, I think he's in another country. I don't know the country. It looks somewhat tropical. Could be South Africa, I guess, but he's connected to the US. Is he, for some reason, I feel like he's not here at the time when I look. And he has to, it's like, he's like it's like a glass house or something. It doesn't, there was just I didn't get too much information about him. It does look like I said, he may have in fact collaborated to kind of share what that really happened. But I don't know. I mean, and I almost guys want to stay at this level of conversation because I don't want to get, how sometimes too much detail can spoil it. So okay, so let's see what's going on here. So I wanted to ask this question because as I was thinking about this, right, the timing is very complicated. But what will be the steps that indicate Trump was leaving the government? Okay, so and why? Like, is it what is going to happen? Okay, so something about the Fed, like you know how there are a lot of the far right wants to destroy the Federal Reserve. This is a very old conspiracy theory. They want to make it a reality. They're like, oh, there's a they want to make the dollar. There's just some crazy stuff. Like they really hate that the Fed is a problem, and it comes from FDR because FDR back in the day when he put all these social programs in place after the Great Depression, he unpegged the dollar from the gold, something like that. And that is it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. Okay. It's a huge problem. You understand? Well, I found a new character. You understand? You get it? You understand? Why do we have to spend our money? Why does the American taxpayer have to help out the people that don't have money? Why is it? Well, I like this new character. See, it's like Melania, but Melania is like this. I pull like the mouth lead. What's it? Melania, but the eyebrows are up. Why do we have to? Right, interesting. Sorry. I thought Rosie was a serious person. I really, she has a lot of interesting insights. I don't understand why she has to use face. Oh, I thought she looked, she doesn't look bad. Why does she have to look so ugly? I don't understand. So anyway, but the guy's in a little lightened up. Thank God. So yeah, it's a reminding. It's a reminding. I don't understand. Okay. Sorry. So anyway, so that's so trying to destroy. I see, guys, it's so bizarre to me that I keep seeing Jamie Dimon being like, I was like, no, so weird. That's right. And okay, that's number one, Wall Street. We're rebelling. Andros, Andros. All right, Wall Street rebelling, and then what else? Then that's right, and then the donors intervene. A lot of those donors intervening, and then the requesting with support for Russia because I see that as he feels very threat. I know he's saying bad things about Putin now, but as things heat up, he feels like would help me. Okay, he would really help me. So he thinks that if he could do this and that or whatever, he will be able to get Putin to support him or to like get him out of the situation. Huh? But it doesn't happen. Okay, so that doesn't make sense. Still shows me that in the end it will be. It's saying that they want a total collapse of the government and in all of the institutions. And guys, you know, it's saying something that I've caught a long time ago. So a lot of something I noticed years ago is that a lot of those far right people, like the Kochs, they praise Lenin. Lenin is the guy who is one of the big people of the Russian Revolution. And the reason why they like Lenin is because Lenin was all about destroying the deep state. So he had, I don't know, I think he has a book. I don't know exactly because I don't study the Russian Revolution for some reason. I don't know why. But so that's what I see. They wanted to do though. The Bannon is behind, like they wanted to, they're gonna follow Bannon's suggestions or whatever to destroy the entire thing. And they got close to it, but it didn't work. Okay, so how understand how understand. So this is that. Now okay, I'm gonna ask them, so what about the timing? What about the timing? I mean, I know it's important, right? It's saying, what is it saying? Are we close, very close, or how close? Is it so let's say Labor Day is the first of September. Is it gonna be could it be before Labor Day or I know for example I was listening to Linda G. Linda G sees this could be the midterms. Is it no, I see the midterms, I think far. Like it seems like no, but then I don't. I feel like it could be before, but that's again. I know sometimes, guys. I feel I feel worried. I worry. Like I say, give people time and such, but that's what I see. Okay, so let me ask a devil's advocate question. Is there a chance that that this is just some illusion and he could stay? Okay, we would and is there a way that his dreams could quote unquote take over and really solidify and destroy America the way he wants to? Wow, and I see interesting, comes here, George Washington. Remember the other guy, that guy that came, the ghost. Remember he's here. Interesting. What's his name? John? I don't remember his name. John. Is that right? Is that what did I say? Is saying your name is John or something? Is that right? Rosie, I'm telling no, didn't die for nothing. No, we're not. We say you're not going back. We're not going back. You say no monarchy. We're not going back. No, forget about it. No, they're saying no. That found like right the Revolution War. People are saying no. So what's his name, John? Yeah, Rosie. Yes, you want to go back? Want to go back there? Maybe I want to go back there. Back down to downtown because it is important to say no. We're not going back. They went as far as they could, and it's saying this is going to be the highest. They will go. This is the culmination of the system of government that we've had thus far, and there will need to have massive changes. So get ready. And it's interesting, it's giving me a message for people who are thinking of entering law school or are in law school that they will be needed. That some of these people are disappointed. They're very sad and depressed, but it's not forever. That soon we'll have reforms and we'll need a lot of lawyers, and that this is in fact temporary. Okay, so this is nice. So I really changed my mood, really, to be honest with you. So all right, so let's go. Let's go for today. All right, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Bye.